AmeriBar wasn't the first review course that I've taken, and I feel like its unique structure is what enabled me to finally pass the bar. It was a combination, I think, of how straightforward they were and how you needed to study, and their practical application of how to review the outlines, and their combination of telling you how to focus your time depending on the MBE or the essay specific subjects. And I think it was a combination of all those things that finally enabled me to use my time the most efficiently way I could, and that's what enabled me to finally be able to pass the bar. I was actually recommended to use AmeriBar from a friend who had previously used a big name review course that wasn't necessarily self-study and had passed a bar, and she was taking a subsequent bar and she was searching for a review course to take, and she chose AmeriBar and subsequently passed the second state that she was sitting for, and it was her recommendation, and the reasons why. It was the way the course was set up, it was affordable. She really kind of sold me on it, so that's why I went with it this time around. It was affordable, and I just had a lot of belief behind it, and it worked for me. I really liked how the course told you to remove the table of contents and use them as outlines. It's always something in hindsight that you realize, yes, I need to be listening to a lecture and reading and writing at the same time, but AmeriBar went a step further and actually encouraged you and specifically told you, rip out the table of contents, use these as your specific outline. Make notes on the outline, so you're forced to condense all of the immense information into smaller sentences or key phrases that you can retain at a moment's or recall at a moment's notice. And I think it was that really impressed me. The starring system was incredibly helpful. They used the stars that range from 1 to 4, and you knew for sure that those topics, you were going to see those topics, you were going to see them more than once. It's all about time management, and especially when you're doing a self-study course, and if you're working full-time like I was, it was all about trying to maximize your study time as much as possible and doing it as efficiently as possible. And the STAR system was just a great way that AmeriBar helped me do that. The lectures corresponded almost exactly with the subjects in the book, so it was really helpful actually to have the outline, the table of contents outline in front of you, the book laid out with you, and listening to the online lectures all at the same time. You got it from all different areas, so it was really helpful. I used their study schedules. I would look at their 30-day, I think, and also their 60-day, and kind of combine them together for the amount of time that I had to study, and went with the subject order that they gave me. I used that exactly, and I thought it was incredibly beneficial the way they had it set up, so that you could retain which subjects when you needed to, and then when you got to the end and started reviewing, it just fell right in line. I think law students coming directly out of law school are really going to want like an in-class type setting, or they're going to think that that's going to be something that might work for them better as opposed to a self-study. And I would just really encourage them to take a look at all the aspects of AmeriBar, and the affordability, and just tell them not to be afraid of trying to do it on their own. I've taken a review course that was an in-class type setting, and then also a self-study course from a different company. And AmeriBar's, I felt, was just the most efficient. They hit the most important information. They set it up to where it was very easy to understand. They gave you all the tools that you needed to use in order to study the most efficient way you could possibly study. And I think that's where they outshine the rest of the companies, not to mention their affordability. Anytime I contacted AmeriBar customer service by email, I received responses, if not that exact same day, literally within maybe 30 minutes to an hour of when I emailed them, at the very latest by the next day, so the customer service is out of sight. I was working full-time and trying to study, so I literally did not have the time to try to find classes to go to attend. So my spare time in the evenings and all day on the weekends was solely devoted to the self-study review course, and for me that was the only option, and AmeriBar just helped me do it, helped me utilize that time the most efficient way possible. I know that it can be intimidating when you're looking at review courses and you start to see review course that it's a lot less expensive than other companies, and you start thinking, what are they not going to give me? Why is it so less expensive? But I am so grateful that it is less expensive than other review courses, because it definitely packs more for the punch than the more expensive courses. I highly recommend it to anyone. I actually was speaking to someone while I was taking the bar recently, and they were worried they were going to need to take the bar again, and I started talking up AmeriBar. So I really do believe that the course can give you the tools that you need to get it done the first time around.